You know, when I was a young man back in 1987, there were two cars that set the standard for sports car performance, and they were both Germans. There was this, the 1987 BMW E28 M5, and of course there was this, the 1987 Porsche 944 Turbo.
Very good, Dad, except one thing.
What's that?
You were missing a digit on your grille of that Beamer. What's going on? Let's find out. So the grille says M, but where is the 5? Well, this is a super interesting car not a lot of Americans know about. This is an M car, sort of. This is a 1987 BMW M535i, so it's got the body kit of an M5, it's got a limited slip rear diff, it's got sport suspension, it's got sport seats, it's got some M badges on it, but it doesn't have the M5 heart. This has an M30 straight six, which means instead of having a whopping 256 horsepower, this one, which came from Japan, has 182. And you're probably thinking, why didn't we just buy an M5? I'll have my dad explain.
Well, we didn't buy an M5 because they're freaking expensive. In fact, both of these cars were $18,000, Tommy.
That's right, yes, if we had perhaps bigger budgets, we could splurge for a $40,000 M5, but for today, the M535 is gonna have to do. Now let's see what's under the hood of the Porsche. This 944 Turbo, probably better known as the 951, has a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder with a turbocharger. Total horsepower 217, so more than that 5 Series. Now, one kind of interesting thing about these two cars, they were both 18,000 and they both came from countries that were not the US. This is a Canadian market car, that is a Japanese market car. So we're gonna be reading in kilometers an hour, eh?
Hi, or okay, that's correct. The BMW came out of Japan, the Porsche came out of Canada. But we're gonna get to do something today that I've always dreamed of doing ever since I graduated J school back in '87, and that is compare these two cars around the track and of course in a drag race. Tommy, so which car do you want to drive?
The red one, because it's got pop-up headlights, so it's faster.
I want to drive the black one because it's got European headlights because they're asymmetrical. So let's do this. Let's take them around the track first, see which one is faster, and then we'll drag race them.
Now for the infamous hot lap, let's see if we can get some Chris Harris-like drifts. No, none of that's gonna happen, but maybe we'll get a crash. All right.
Now if Paul were doing this, Tommy, like a minute would be really quick, a minute 10 would be respectable. Where do you think I'm gonna end up?
Let's see if we can do it by February.
She's an old girl, dude. I don't want to flog her too hard.
In 3,
Here we go.
2, 1, go.
Come on, BMW. This 6 is super smooth. One of the smoothest engines even to this day. But keep in mind, old cars have a lot of old bits and pieces to them, like brakes, drivetrain components, transmissions. But oh my God, does this thing handle so well.
I think leisurely would be kind to put that start in that first turn. I'm also not entirely sure the BMW M engineers designed that to sound like an inner city bus, but you know, here we are.
What's amazing about this car is that not only is it quick and nimble and tossable, but that it's comfortable to drive. This is back in the day when you could have a car that you could take to church and take to the track all in one. Oh, there go the tires. Feel them losing grip. But you know what? That's okay. All right, come on, car. Come on, go, go, go. Here we go.
Oh yes, that's a time. Not a very good one, but a time, 1 minute and 24 seconds.
Flogged her as hard as I could have, but you know, she's an old girl. You have to respect, you know, age and hopefully wisdom.
Amen to that. How fast do you think you went?
I'm gonna say if I broke 115, I'm gonna be really happy.
Well, you broke 150.
That's good, but it was 1 minute and 24 seconds.
All right, well, let's see what the Porsche can do, huh? Hey guys, we're here at IMI Motorsports. Check out the link below. You too can come and rent the track, or if you like 2 wheels instead of 4, you can go and get a little dirty. All right, Tommy, bring it to the start line. Let's see how quick you can go in that 944 Turbo. Tommy, do you know why pop-up headlights went away?
Yes, because when you pop them up, the aerodynamic becomes horrible.
That's right. They're an aerodynamic train wreck, so I would suggest you keep them down. because I know you're very proud of them, but they're not going to help you around the track.
Does it really matter when you're going 19 miles an hour like I'll be? I don't think it matters. All right, I'm ready. I'm putting the walkie away.
Here we go. Ready?
Yep. See if I can get the launch good. Oh, not really. These cars bog really hard off the line, and then the turbo hits and you got to be ready or it's going to take you off. These cars do a perfect 50-50 weight distribution as I go completely sideways around that turn. The transaxle is mounted in the back, so the transmission is not in the typical place. It's actually a rear-mounted unit, which is pretty cool. These tires, they might as well be coffee coasters. They are not doing anything for grip. You got to be so careful quartering on power with this car, because when that turbo hits, I mean, it's almost violent, the rate at which the car just takes off. Brakes are pretty good. The 944 turbo had brakes out of the 911, out of its big brother. Now this car, of course, was conceived from the 924, which was a collaboration between Volkswagen and Porsche. But then, of course, people said, oh, the 924 is a little slow. Porsche went ahead and wide-bodied it, and then put in half of their 928 V8, changed everything, and then ultimately added a turbo for a whopping 217 horsepower. I'm having so much fun right now. The balance on this car, I'm not a good driver, but even still, the predictability is just incredible. Toss it into the turn, back end comes flinging around every which direction. Across the line. Yeah, these tires have no grip. That was exciting, wasn't it? What a machine, guys. That's so fun. It was not fast at all, but God, that was fun. How did I do?
Well, you almost lost it there.
I did get a, well, the thing is when the turbo hits,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, I saw it. You went sideways.
I didn't lose it, I caught it. 123.88. That is embarrassing. That should have been faster, but a win is a win. Maybe I should have spent more time going forward, less time sideways.
We want to do a 0 to 60 because we're not sure in a drag race we can actually get to 60 in these old cars.
One of the cool things is that Porsche in the owner's manual actually told you the 0 to 60 for all the different models. So 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds, and they even give you stuff like acceleration curves and power curves. How cool is that?
It's a short track, so if he can do it under 10 seconds, that'd be good. So we'll see how much horsepower it's lost since 1987.
Ooh, not as gentle as I wanted it to be. A little bit of wheel spin. There's a turbo. In a second, in a third. Oh, I hit 60, but that was not a quick time.
Wow, that was a lot of smoke, Tommy. I think that was a tire.
Yeah, definitely tire. And then I locked it up trying to stop down here.
Well, did you make it to 60?
I did, but the time is so embarrassing. I'm not even sure I want to say it.
8.69.
I think back in the day it was rated, what, at 6 seconds or around there?
6.1, but that was with a much better driver, not on hockey puck tires in Colorado. So, you know, it still hit 60 at least. That was terrible. I'm sorry, Porsche purists.
We won't do the BMW until after the drag race, because if we do it, we'll give away the results of the drag race. So you ready to drag race?
Let's do it.
Don't you have anti-lock brakes in that Porsche?
Well, when I just did that 0 to 60 at the end of the track, I did like a 40-foot skid, so I don't think so.
Well, my car says anti-lock on my little dashboard, so I think BMW was a little ahead of Porsche in technology back in '87.
So I looked it up. This car, when it was new, $33,300. That car, 535 here in the States, $33,600. So within spitting distance of each other.
And now they're both worth $18,000. They both have kilometers instead of miles, and they're both old.
They're actually pretty much the same mileage too, just over 100,000 miles on both of them. So pretty cool stuff, pretty apples to apples. Unfortunately though, they are 34 years old and we don't really want to break them because that would require remortgaging our house to fix a 34-year-old German car.
Okay, here we go. Ready, set, go.
Come on, Porsche. Oh, bad start. It bogs so hard. And then 5,000 RPM, there's the turbo and he's gone. When that turbo hits, it is game over. But it doesn't hit till like 4,000 RPM and then it all comes at once.
You bogged it on the line.
Doesn't matter though, because that turbo kicks in, baby, You have to wait an eternity, but when that thing hits, holy moly, you're off.
All right, well, congratulations, dude. All right, I will do my 0 to 60 now to find out what time this can get, if I can even get the 60 on the short track.
Yeah, I mean, the mile above sea level, the 34 years of age, and then, of course, it's 15 degrees outside, and let's be honest, we're no Stigs here, is not leading to good 0 to 60 times today.
Yeah, all that. Wah, 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 wah. All right, let me see how quick this guy is 0 to 60. So we bought both of these cars because, let's face it, when I was a young man back in '87, these were the cars that I dreamed of owning. And even though $33,000 may not seem like a lot of money today, it was a boatload of money back in the day. So to be able to buy them over 30 years later and to be able to mash them up together in this kind of a fun father-son drag race / lap, it's kind of a dream.
So if your car will not hit 60 in about 10 seconds, you go flying off the end of the track, as I've done many times, including in a Pontiac Aztek. So hopefully my dad doesn't do that to this beautiful BMW.
All right, Dad. Let's give her some dingle fling hell.
Yes, Dingle Fling, the home of the 5 Series to this day.
I don't think you could go any further back on that track. You're practically in the dirt.
All right, here we go. Let's see if I can get it to 60. What's your guess?
I'm guessing you're not hitting 60.
I'm guessing just 10 seconds. We'll see. It does have good brakes.
That is not a fast automobile. Part of the issue is that's a Japanese spec, which had the detuned version of the engine like we had here in the States. So only 180 horsepower. Did you hit 60?
No, I just said I didn't make it to 60.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of what I figured. So we have determined it is sometime over 10 seconds.
Now hold on, I'll try it the other way. I'll give it one more shot. I'm floored. 60 kilometers. I made it to 60. I made it to 60, Tommy. Rung it out in second gear.
11.02. And look, you barely made it to the end of the track. That almost was an insurance claim right there.
But I did it. A lot of modern cars, including the Subaru Crosstrek, Tommy, could not keep up with this car today. All right, pop-up headlight boy. The Porsche was faster.
Yes, well, it's got more horsepower.
Quicker.
And it's lighter, and we're at a mile above sea level, so the turbo really helped. But that is not the end of the story, because while we may not be able to afford to buy an E28 M5, we might be able to afford to build one. So be sure to stay tuned to that here at TFL Classics. And as always, this has been Tommy
And Roman saying, don't meet your heroes because...
I'll meet them. They're good. As long as they're red and have pop-up headlights, they're gonna love it.
But they're old and a little slow compared to modern cars.
Your words, not mine. We'll see you next time.
Ciao.
My dad, being the nice dad he is, wants me to try the Beamer out, so I'm gonna give the BMW a shot around the circuit as well. All right, immediately, quite a bit less power, but a nice shifter. Feels really good. This one is not nearly as willing to step the back out, but it also feels like the tires have something resembling grip, which is a good thing. Okay, I'm gonna hit the brakes. Ooh, really good brakes. These brakes might actually be in better condition than that of the Porsche. Very progressive. Something beeped at me. I don't know what that was. That was interesting. Hugging it around the corner. Quite a bit of body lean by modern standards, however, very controllable. The balance on these old 80s cars is just incredible. Into second gear, winding it around the S, mess that up. And hard on the brakes for the big left-hander. Kind of a nice sweeper. The power comes in on this car also right around 4,000 RPM, but unlike the Porsche, it's incredibly progressive. The shifter's kind of hard to get used to. It's easy to go into the reverse gate. Just kind of hugging it around the turn. Oh wow, this car is an absolute beauty. Now, the Porsche weighs under 3,000 pounds. This car does not weigh that much more than 3,000 pounds. On the throttle, 4,500 RPM, not gonna kill my dad's brand new BMW. And across the line there. That was leisurely, to say the least. I'm gonna guess that was like a 128. He looks quite smug. Oh boy. See why he's so smug? 128?
All right, so what'd you think of this car?
It's an amazing car. We were just talking about it. The balance is perfect. The grip is pretty good. The engine's smooth.
All right, so I think that's a loss for me, but a win for the car.
122. It was a little quicker.
You beat the Porsche.
Very cool. Yeah, the Porsche needs new tires so bad. It's like an ice skating rink on that car. But the BMW, it is an absolute treat to drive.